Most people think rich people love cash. Stacks of money, luxury wallets, millions sitting in bank accounts. But the truth is, rich people often try to hold as little cash as possible. Because while poor people save cash, the wealthy move cash. And that single difference changes everything. Cash feels safe, but it's quietly losing value. Most people were taught, save your money, keep cash, don't spend. And saving money is important. But there's a problem nobody talks about. Cash loses value every single year. Inflation slowly makes everything more expensive. Food, rent, gas, homes, education. So even if your money stays the same, your buying power shrinks. $1,000 today won't buy what it bought 10 years ago. And rich people understand this better than anyone. That's why they don't let large amounts of money sit still for too long. Because idle cash is slowly being eaten away from them. The wealthy turn cash into assets. Poor and middle-class people usually work for money. Rich people make money work for them. The moment wealthy people get cash, they often move it into assets. Things like stocks, businesses, real estate, investments, ownership. Why? Because assets can grow. Cash usually doesn't. A rich person doesn't see money as something to store. They see it as a tool. Every dollar has a job. And if money isn't growing, they believe it's dying. That mindset alone creates a completely different financial future. Debt can make rich people richer. This sounds backwards. Most people fear debt. But wealthy people understand something important. There's bad debt, and there's useful debt. Bad debt buys things that lose value. Cars you can't afford, luxury you don't need, things bought to impress people. But useful debt can buy assets. For example, a property that produces rental income, a business that makes profit, an investment that grows over time. Rich people often use borrowed money to buy things that make even more money. That's why many wealthy people don't pay cash, even when they can. They use leverage, because keeping their money invested can earn more than the cost of borrowing. Cash is about opportunity. The wealthy don't hate cash. They hate wasted opportunity. To them, money sitting still means missed potential. Imagine having $100,000. One person keeps it in cash for 10 years. Another invests it into assets that grow. Over time, the gap becomes massive. This is why rich people constantly ask, how can this money multiply? Not, how can I protect this forever? They focus on growth first, not comfort first. And over decades, that mindset compounds into enormous wealth. The biggest risk isn't investing. Most people think investing is risky. But wealthy people often believe the biggest risk is doing nothing. Because time changes everything. Inflation rises. Prices increase. Opportunities disappear. And cash that once felt safe starts losing power silently in the background behind you. The rich understand that money needs movement. Not reckless movement. Not gambling. Smart movement. Long-term movement. That's the difference. The biggest difference between rich people and everyone else isn't intelligence. It isn't luck. And it isn't even income. It's how they think about money. Most people see money as something to keep. The wealthy see money as something to deploy. That's why rich people don't let cash sit still for years doing nothing. Because they understand something most people learn too late. Money that doesn't move usually loses. While the average person focuses on saving every dollar, the wealthy focus on building systems that make dollars return with more dollars. They buy assets. They invest in ownership. They create businesses. They build income streams. And over time, those assets begin working harder than they do. That's when wealth starts becoming freedom. Freedom to choose. Freedom to say no. Freedom to stop surviving and start living differently. And the scary part is, most people spend their entire lives chasing money without ever learning how money actually works. But once you understand, the game changes. You stop trying to look rich and start trying to build real wealth. You stop buying liabilities to impress people who don't care. And you start focusing on ownership, patience, and long-term thinking. Because real wealth isn't loud. It's built quietly over years of smart decisions. One investment, one opportunity, one disciplined move at a time. The goal is to eventually reach a point where your money works for you. That's the shift. And once you truly understand it, you can never look at money the same way again. If this video gave you a new perspective on money, don't let it become just another video you watched for a few minutes and forgot tomorrow. Because information alone changes nothing. Action changes everything. The truth is, most people already know they should save more, invest earlier, and think long term. But very few people actually do it. And that's why financial freedom stays rare. Not because it's impossible, but because consistency is rare. So start small if you have to. Learn. Improve. Invest in yourself. Build better habits. Think long term. Because the decisions you make with money today can shape the next 10, 20, or even 30 years of your life. And remember, wealth usually isn't built in one moment. It's built through small, smart decisions repeated over and over again. So don't focus on getting rich overnight. Focus on becoming financially stronger year after year. That's how real wealth is built. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more content about money, investing, financial psychology, and building long-term wealth. And if you made it this far, comment below. What is one thing you want your money to do for you in the future? I read the comments, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.